Hi, my name is George Shaler. I'm the board president of the Justice Information Resource Network. This interview is part of JIRN's series titled Justice Insights: Conversations with the SAC. I'm here with members of the Wisconsin SAC who were recently awarded JIRN's Douglas Yearwood Prize for a report that we will learn more about in a moment. Before we jump in and learn more about that report, I'd like Kaley and Ashley to introduce themselves, provide some information about their role and title with the Wisconsin SAC, and then we'll jump in with all the questions about their report.
Thanks, George. My name is Ashley Billig. I'm the director of the Bureau of Justice Information and Analysis in Wisconsin. We are part of the Wisconsin Department of Justice, and we are the SAC for Wisconsin.
And I'm Kaley Horvath. I am an advanced program and policy analyst, also within the Bureau of Justice Information and Analysis.
All right. So, Kaley and Ashley, what can you tell me? What is the title of the report? And let me ask, what was the impetus behind this project? What was the research problem or policy question or program need that you were trying to address with this report?
Yeah, so the title of this report is the Treatment Alternatives and Diversion 2019 to 2023 Participant Summary, Recidivism Analysis, and Cost Benefit Analysis. This is a legislative requirement, so we use state funding to do this work. And I'll turn it over to Kaley to talk a little bit about what motivated the project.
Yeah, absolutely. The TAD program, the Treatment and Diversion program within Wisconsin, is mandated to perform a cost-benefit analysis every 5 years for the previous 5 years worth of data. So like Ashley said, this report covers 2019 to 2023. And this is using data that is submitted to the DOJ via the core database that we have made for the state. It stands for the Comprehensive Outcome and Research Evaluation Database that we created for the TAD programs with these analyses in mind.
Great. So can you both provide me with a brief overview of the methodology or approach or the data you used in this project?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about that one, George. Kaley just mentioned the data that comes in through our core system. That's information provided by the programs about the participants in their program. So it includes lots of pretty specific information, including personally identifying information about the person and how they've progressed through the programs. We also use programmatic data that we have from the folks who administer this program within the Wisconsin DOJ. That includes budgetary information and some qualitative information about the programs. We also use our Wisconsin Centralized Criminal History Repository, which is also housed within the Wisconsin DOJ. We use that for the recidivism analysis. And then we also have data coming in from the Director of State Courts Office, which gave us information about convictions and sentencing information that we used for the cost benefit analysis.
Great. So what were the key findings or outcomes of this study?
Yeah, so this is a really, really lengthy report. Part of it is a participant summary. So we summarized the participants in the cohorts that we're looking at. And one thing we realized was that only 40% of people who are referred to a treatment court program are actually getting in, and only about 35% of people referred to a diversion program are actually getting in. And so that's a pretty low admission rate. Some of those are because the person didn't want to participate, but the majority is because they're ineligible to participate for various reasons. And so we're kind of looking at that from a policy perspective of, are there things we can do with eligibility requirements to make the programs more accessible? Another key point that we found was the 3-year conviction recidivism. It was about 43% for participants who were in treatment court programs and about 23% for those who were in diversion programs. That 43% for the treatment court participants was kind of right in the middle of the comparison group recidivism rates. We had two different comparison groups, and the 23% conviction recidivism for diversion participants was lower than both of the comparison groups. And we found that for every $1 spent in state funding for these programs, anywhere between $5.15 up to $5.92 is saved to the criminal justice system for those who are in treatment court programs, and anywhere between $8.18 up to $9.12 is saved for every $1 spent on diversion programs. Most of these savings are a result of averted incarceration, just because of the expense of having people in prison. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, we just kind of wanted to point out that, this evaluation period between 2019 and 2023, obviously COVID is right in the middle of that. And so we wanted to kind of acknowledge the programs and their resilience to keep going during the pandemic. They were really resourceful in trying to find ways to keep their operations running. However, ultimately, they did have to change some things in the ways that they were operating. So we don't want to just urge everyone who reads this report to kind of interpret the findings with caution, knowing that programs were operating fairly differently during this time than previously.
Great. Thank you so much. So let me just ask you, kind of wrapping it up. So what's the policy relevance here? Like what are the next steps? Like are there going to be programmatic changes? Tell me, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. I can sort of take over here. The endpoint of the report, as Ashley said, we're saving money ultimately from the state based off of the reduced incarceration rates with individuals. And of course, this is going to encourage the legislature and the public, hopefully, to invest in these programs more in order to further reduce those incarceration rates and costs, as well as actively improve the lives of those participants who are successfully navigating these programs. Since there's a lot more to TAD than just, this bottom dollar finding, such as community, personal growth, and professional advancement are all very key highlighted areas of focus within these programs. Since TAD doesn't just save lives, it actively improves them, and by proxy, the communities that they're centered in. We're hoping that, sort of this financial breakdown is going to further provide more resources and attention to these programs in the future.
Wow, how exciting. And what a great report. And hopefully these recommendations move this program further. I want to thank you both for this interview. Acknowledge that the report that you both wrote was outstanding. And again, congratulations on your Yearwood Award.